Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? I guess not. Oh, technical difficulties. Gotta love it. All right, how the frick do I do this? Daggone it. Oh, you can see me, or no? I don't know if this thing is working. Can you guys see me? Ah, so you hear me. Nice, awesome. Okay, I guess I'm coming through. Capture moments as they happen. All right. Hey, how's everyone doing? How is my audio? Am I coming through clear? The technical difficulties on this thing has been crazy. You can hear me good. Awesome. Yes, and we can see. Awesome. Thank you guys for showing up. This should be interesting. We want to share some high vibe energy. Can you guys let me know where you guys are from? What I want to do is try to put together the best time to do these lives where everybody can kind of come together at once and it's more convenient for everybody. So let me know where you are and maybe put in what time it is where you are. Hey, Chula. You thought you went deaf? Oh, is it too loud? Hey, Katrina. Chickens. What's up, chickens? All right, Chula's from India, Oregon. Oregon is West Coast. 4:30 for Katrina in UK. 11:30 for chickens. She's in Central Time Zone. I know Australia is the crazy one. Yeah, 2:30. I'm not sure I can make a convenient stream for Australia. Finishing work. 16:30. Yeah, we don't really use military time too much in the States. I don't know what 16:30 is. I know that's a thing in UK. Not too loud, okay. Hey, Christine, welcome. Beam. 1:30, 4 hours ahead. Wow, where's 4 hours ahead? Got Kentucky in the house, representing. All right, so I think we'll jump into it. Straya is cray cray. I love it. Oh. Well, Chula, at least you get to go to bed on a good vibe with some light waves, positive energy. 4:30 p.m. for Brittany. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, let's see how this goes. Saudi Arabia in the house. What's up? 7:30 at night. Okay. All right. Well, other than Australia, I think we're kind of hitting a decent hour here. So, still trying to play around with the times. But anyway, everyone feeling good, everyone positive. Happy Friday, everybody. All right, so I think what I'll do is just kind of jump on into it. So today's topic is going to be on navigating change and chaos spiritually. Now, this is one of my kind of favorite topics because I always like to fall back on Wayne Dyer's phrase, there's a spiritual solution for every problem. And that would have to be the case, right? Because spirit is everything. So once you realize that spirit source is everything, including your problems, you kind of have a different perspective of those problems. There's a lot less resistance to those problems. There's a lot less survival mode, fight or flight, right? Which is in alignment with fear, which is a closed off state of resistance. And now there's more of a state of allowing and surrender, where you're going to ask, what is this problem, quote unquote, trying to teach me? What is trying to be birthed through me? And this releases a lot of anxiety and fear around chaos and challenges that show up, because now you're kind of looking at that change, that chaos, as an ally instead of an enemy. This is stepping more into unity consciousness, where you realize if everything is unity, how can you have enemies? Because your enemies would be divided against themselves, right? So source is also the shadows. Source is also the darkness. This would have to be, because source is all things. So when we kind of get away from dissolving that illusion of duality, we can drop a lot of resistance around what comes into our life. And what we're calling a problem merely gives us an opportunity to see where we're out of alignment with source and in alignment with fear. I'll take some small chunks with this. Does that resonate with you guys? Got it definitely from Elizabeth Sun Chaser. What's the K for Elizabeth? Resonates with Brittany. Definitely does for Katrina. Awesome. So the next point I want to kind of touch on, and I know that you guys are tired of hearing this, I've said it a million times, but there really isn't a magic pill. The answer a lot of times is heal your own trauma. So I know that this is not the popular answer, because everyone wants that kind of quick fix on how to, handle their life and get through life more with ease. But you got to understand that the universe is your mirror. And I'm sure you've heard the phrase a million times, hurt people hurt people. But what I like to say is healed people heal people, right? So if we take a look at world events, how do you heal the planet? If you want to heal the planet, the change starts with the individual, because the collective is what? A collective of individuals. And the more individuals that heal their own trauma, the more individuals can step into higher consciousness, meaning the collective is stepping into higher consciousness. When you heal your own trauma, you respond to others differently. You're not looking at others as a threat. You're less in alignment with fear. You're out of alignment with survival mode, fight or flight, which is a closed off state of resistance, and you're moving more into unity. Once you stop looking at others as a threat, now you're in more of a flow state. You're swimming with the stream. You step out of competition, lack, scarcity, incompleteness. You're not trying to get something. You have a deeper understanding of your wholeness, completeness, and perfection. And that's what the universe is going to mirror back to you. So this is how, on the world stage, we can heal the planet. We heal our own trauma first. And if we kind of want to look at the analogy of the 3D matrix, the 3D matrix can kind of be that survival fight or flight mode, right? So if we're a microcosm in the macrocosm, our bottom three chakras have to do with survival. So we can look at the planet, the collective, the matrix, has the bottom three chakras. That's survival mode. Now, what we want to do is get the collective to the top 3 higher consciousness chakras. And this is how the collective moves into what we like to call 4D consciousness, 5D consciousness, 5D earth. So what is the bridge between the lower 3 chakras and the top 3 chakras? The heart. You got to go through the heart chakra to get to higher consciousness. Sounds to me like love, right, is the gateway to higher consciousness. So this is how the collective can heal the planet, because when you're healing your own trauma, you're moving out of those lower vibrational survival-based chakras and into higher states of consciousness. Why? Because you're applying love to that trauma. Love is a higher frequency. Trauma is a lower frequency in alignment with fear. What we want to do is we apply the higher frequency of love to the lower frequency of trauma to raise the frequency of that trauma to be integrated into your more higher dominant frequency. This is the definition of healing. This is why we don't make an enemy of our shadow. That's internal division. If there's an aspect of ourselves that we, deny, that's really a form of self-hate. And a house divided against itself can't stand. So this is why we don't make an enemy of the shadow. Similarly, we don't make an enemy of the 3D matrix. We approach the 3D matrix from a higher state of consciousness to raise the frequency of that survival-based fight or flight 3D matrix, so that what we get mirrored back to us from the 3D matrix is from a higher state of consciousness, now more in alignment with 4D or 5D. Does that resonate with you guys? How many people do we have in here? Hey, Valina. Thank you. Yes, unconditional love. Yes. Not the love that we have become accustomed to. Yeah, I would say unconditional love is actual love. Anything other than that is not real love, because it would be more in alignment with fear. Healed people heal people, absolutely. Chula says, can you elaborate a bit? What do you want me to elaborate on? Elaborate on unconditional love? So, unconditional love is coming from the perspective of unity consciousness. There's no resistance. There's no concept of losing an aspect of yourself if you give. So in other words, you guys have heard me using the videos several times, never underestimate the power of your light. Your candle can light 1,000 other candles, and your candle remains lit. When you take away from abundance, abundance is left. So when you're coming from the perspective of source consciousness having a physical experience, that means that you imbue all of the attributes of source consciousness, which is absolute abundance. So if your identity is absolute abundance, it's nothing to help. It's nothing to give. It's nothing to spread your light, because you don't have a concept of losing anything, because there's nothing to lose, because absolute abundance is your identity. There's nothing that can make you less of source or more of source. You just are source. Source just is. Source can't be more of itself or less of itself. It just is. And so when you step into unity consciousness, this is what unconditional love actually is. And the definition of namaste, the divine in me recognizes the divine in you. So when you're identifying as love, you're seeing yourself, aspects of yourself in other people, and vice versa. This makes it much more difficult to be 3D to your fellow human, right? This allows you to come from a place of kindness and compassion and just gratitude for life. And the gratitude from life is on a much higher level because you're no longer in alignment with fear. If you don't believe that there's anything that you can lose, and you realize that you are eternal and it's all a game anyway, what the heck is there to fear? Right? And so you once you step out of fear, which is in alignment with competition and lack and scarcity and all of that, it just becomes a great game, and anxiety and fear go down the drain. I am that I am, yes. Okay, Chula got it. That's awesome. Elizabeth, yes, this is a gaming chair, actually. All right, so let me jump on to my next point here. All right, this is one that if you can really understand this, and it kind of plays off of what I just mentioned, it's going to make navigating change and chaos a lot easier for you. And that is to realize that you chose this experience. And this is what really stepping into a 5D consciousness comes from. If you chose this experience before deciding to incarnate, do you really think that you would have chosen something that you didn't think that you'd be able to overcome? Right? So, that can't be the case. Otherwise, your higher self would be divided against you as itself. This is why when you step out of duality and realize that unity is the answer to everything, the source, universe, God, spirit, whatever, can't be against you, because it would be against itself, because you're also a source having a physical experience. And this is what unity is really all about. So when you're facing chaos and you're facing change, you want to realize that this is something that you chose before deciding to incarnate, which means that it has to be for your highest good. So if you come from the perspective of it has to be for your highest good, this is going to allow you to just surrender to the process, knowing that you're getting closer to living the life that you intended to live after you decided to incarnate. Why? Because you're getting more out of alignment with fear and more in alignment with love. And when you're surrendering to the process, knowing that it's for your highest good, this allows you to step more into your sovereignty, more of living life on your terms, more of living life in a childlike state of wonderment for the present moment. And that life purpose, it doesn't have to be, changing the entire world. It could just be living life on your terms, living life sovereign, living life in joy and happiness and freedom and love. Or it might be helping other people to find their light. And let me take a side note from there. I'm going to go back to talking about healing your own trauma. A lot of people feel called to be light workers. And what I always recommend is heal your trauma first before you decide to be a light worker or spread your light. And the reason for that is because that trauma holds a frequency in your vibration. And if it's unhealed, you're going to impart that to other people, even if it's unintentional. I mean, of course, if you're wanting to be a light worker, you're not, obviously intentionally wanting to spread any type of a negative vibration, but it's going to be in your frequency if it's unhealed. So I always like to use the analogy when you're on a plane, fix your oxygen mask first before you help the child, right? So heal your own trauma before you try to be a light worker or spread your light. But if you chose when you wanted to wake up on your timeline and you chose all the different events that you were going to experience to get you back to remembering your identity as love, remembering what you chose to forget after incarnating, then that means everything that you chose to experience was to get you closer to understanding your identity as love and the love from whence you came, right? So if everything is leading you to love, that allows you to look at chaos and change from a completely different perspective. It allows you to trust the process, surrender control. Remember, control is the agenda of the ego. The ego feels that there's a survival threat if it's not able to control everything. But when you surrender to the process and you look at those challenges and you look at that chaos as an opportunity to level up and get in alignment with your life purpose, then you can start asking empowering questions. So we get away from the disempowering questions like, woe is me, Murphy's Law is always attacking me, the universe hates me, whatever, whatever, disempowering, small-minded, limited, fear-based beliefs we have. And then we step into, well, what is the universe trying to express through me? This is a very empowering question, and the universe loves to give empowering answers. So when you have an empowering question like, what is the universe trying to express through me, you're going to get an answer, and if that answer scares you, then you're doing it right, because that means that the change that is on the way is going to be so epic. It's going to be so unlike anything that you've ever experienced in the past. And so just remember, if you chose this, it must be for your highest good, and it must be getting you closer to your life purpose. So release the control, surrender to the process, trust source, and ask, what is this lesson trying to teach me? Where am I out of alignment with love? How do I get in alignment with love? And what is trying to be birthed through me? What does my greatest version look like? And, a technique you can do is write out a couple of paragraphs what your greatest version looks like. Because when you take something from the intangible and put it in the tangible, black and white, now it becomes a thing. Your brain stamps it as like, okay, this is an identity. This is my greatest version. This is an identity. And this is what I want to move toward. Now, all of a sudden, you start to vibrationally match with the different people, places, and things that are in alignment with that new greatest version. So this chaos and challenge showed up, and you thought that this was a tower moment, some calamity. But then when you write out your greatest version on paper, you can see the correlation between what you would have to become to overcome this chaos and challenge. And now you see that your greatest version is trying to be birthed through this chaos and challenge. Does that make sense to you guys? Reverence, Uprising, Ascension, Activation, Tarot. Yes, I chose when I forgot this, that this is when I face resistance, struggle, despair. One of my favorite things from Michael Beckwith, he says, remember to remember. That just, it's so simple, but if you remember to remember, it's going to take you out of that resistant state of fight or flight pretty quickly. Chula says, yes, during a spiritual awakening, I have surrendered to the process, trusting the universe that whatever will happen will be the best for my highest self. Yes. How do we heal our own trauma? Shadow work. You guys know I'm a big proponent of shadow work. You got to do shadow work. Chicken says, I like seeing this raw. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for coming, chickens. By the way, I love chickens because chickens is an original Lightways light fam. She started commenting on my videos 2 years ago when I had like 3 subscribers. So much love to you, chickens. Thank you for being a ride or die for the light fam. Brooke, hey, you made it. I'm not going to call you square now. Katrina, 100%. Awesome. Yes, need to meditate daily. Guys, meditation. Meditation, now this is not a topic that, I had planned for today, but meditation, I cannot stress the importance of it enough, because meditation allows you to see the 3D for what it is. And it keeps the monkey mind from fear-mongering out into some future scenario, which is anxiety, right? Or regretting some nonsense of the past, which doesn't even exist. It's the present moment that exists. So meditation gets you into the present moment and centers you. And then when you can quiet the monkey mind, you can access your subconscious reprogramming. That's what, it's your subconscious that connects to the quantum field and attracts the physical reality that you experience. So it's your subconscious identity, your subconscious beliefs that create the world that you experience. So learn to meditate, please. If you get anything from this live, start your meditation practice daily. Coley, what's up, brother? Coley, I'm gonna have to get the axes out here and start playing for you guys. Enough of these foul remarks. Do your shadow work, Coley. Oh. Will we see this video? Yeah, so I am going to post this live. Oh, thank you, chickens. It's her favorite YouTube video. All right, guys, so let me jump on to my next point here. Okay, so the next point that I wanted to touch on is, and it kind of goes with what I said previously, is change is good. Change is good. Otherwise, you're just going to be stagnant. Change is the basis of evolution. You can't have evolution without change. You can't have a spiritual evolution without spiritually changing. So when we're talking about change, you want to look at change as not a scary thing, but as an opportunity to level up. If you're not living the life that you truly want to live, you're going to have a lot of change and chaos. And I'm going to put those in quotes because, yes, it can appear to be chaos to the uninitiated. It can appear to be chaos to the 3D mind, but what it really is an opportunity to get you to what your heart really wants. That change and chaos has shown up because your heart has a desire. Remember, I just said the subconscious is what links to the quantum field and attracts the reality that you wish to experience. Well, the energetic house of your subconscious is your heart. If you guys have ever, actually what I'll do, I'll recommend that you guys check out the Heart Math Institute. It's by Greg Braden. I think Bruce Lipton put some stuff in there as well. And they talk about how the heart, they call the heart the mini brain. There's like 40,000 neurons, and it almost thinks on its own, aside from the main brain. But my point for saying that is, it's your subconscious reality it's your subconscious thoughts that create your reality. So when you are looking at the challenges as, what is my heart wanting to express? What is the direction of my heart? Your heart is your energetic compass, right? So the energy that you have in your heart is the compass of the ship. And what you experience is based on where that compass is pointed. So if the joys of your heart are not being fulfilled, you're going to attract a lot of chaos and calamity, so that you can bypass that and level up to a timeline that is more in alignment with your heart's desire. So your heart's desire is always steering the ship. So if you're experiencing a lot of change and chaos, that could mean that you're not following the joy and the desire of your heart. And so what you want to do is, you don't want to look at that change and chaos as, oh no, shoot, I'm not living the the joy of my heart, this is a bad thing. No, you want to look at it as an opportunity to overcome that challenge and to overcome the pain and struggle of that chaos that has shown up so that you can live the joy that is in your heart. Does that resonate with you guys? I think I lost my place. Let me start at the top. Elizabeth, maybe you can do a meditation video. Yes, I did. Actually, How to Meditate for Beginners was my very first YouTube video. Just search How to Meditate for Beginners on my channel. I go back and I look at my very first videos, and it's so cringe. I'm like, ugh. I have to turn it off like 5 seconds. I'm like, ugh. But apparently all YouTubers do that. So, hey, Steve, welcome, brother. Laughter, key to enlightenment. Absolutely. Notice Buddha was always laughing, rubbing his belly. Looking well. Hey, Gabrielle, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. David, will you start allowing PayPals during your lives? All this is so helpful. You know what, guys? I enabled super chats. Do you guys not see? There's like a little, I think it's like a little dollar sign. They call it super chats, and you just click that, and then you just put in, 222 or 333 or whatever, Make it a cool number. Not 202. I mean, like, $2.22. Oh, Chickens is rolling by. Chickens, thanks for stopping by. How do you not give into fear of whatever is challenging you? This is Martha. Oh, Martha Evans. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, so this is what I was just kind of talking about. When you're looking at your challenge, you're wanting to look at that challenge as an opportunity to move into your greatest version. And so you want to remember that this is a challenge that you chose before incarnating. Even if your physical 3D self can't understand why in the world you would have ever chosen a challenge like this, just understand from a higher state of consciousness that your ego is blocking you from accessing fully. You chose it for a reason, and the reason that you chose that is to get onto your life mission. That life mission may be teaching other people how to overcome the same challenge, or giving people the same light to overcome that type of challenge, or just living a life of freedom and joy and living life on your terms, sovereign, no fear, full of love, spreading love to everyone else. These are the dominant frequencies of source consciousness. I hope that helped, Martha. We all cringe when we watch our early clips. Yeah. It was bad. Some of these, I go back and I look at some of the videos, and like my face is like, right in the camera. I'm yelling in the camera, and it's funny. It's a Superman $sign to the right button. Oh, is that the super chat? Yeah. Christine's always just like answering questions. I love how you guys are helping each other out in the chat. Thank you very much. All right, so this is another point that I wanted to make. So when we're talking about navigating chaos and challenge spiritually, you want to adopt a mindset that this is a friendly universe. The universe is always conspiring in my favor. Now, I know that that can sound kind of bubblegum or woo-woo, or, yes, that was in The Secret, but that doesn't make it any less true. It's your perception about reality that creates the reality that you experience. And so when you have the concept that the universe is a friendly universe, it's always conspiring in your favor, then that allows you to keep that certain light of enthusiasm as your compass as you're going through things. Now, what I do want to mention is the universe is always conspiring in your favor. It's a good place to start. It's a bit egotistical, though, right? Because the ego wants to always be special, right? Oh, the universe is doing everything for me, right? So, but it's a good place to start, right? So if you're kind of coming from that, everything always goes wrong for me, or Murphy's Law, or, you just kind of have a limited fear-based type of mentality, adopt the mentality or the mindset the universe is always conspiring in my favor. That's a good starting place. Eventually, you're going to graduate to the universe is always conspiring for everyone's highest good, because unity and love is the highest truth, because that's the dominant frequency of source. It's a bit egotistical to, the universe is conspiring for me, the ego always wants to feel special. But it's a great place to start if you're coming from a place of, the universe hates me, everything always goes wrong. If it can go wrong, it will. When it rains, it pours, all that kind of stuff. So start with the universe is always conspiring in my favor. This is a happy universe. And then eventually graduate to unity consciousness, where the universe is always conspiring for everyone's good. And you guys may or may not understand just how much of a self-fulfilling prophecy life actually is. Your beliefs really do control the reality that you experience. Remember, the universe is your mirror. The universe is pretty much just always a yes. I don't know what you're believing, but the universe will give you a big yes if that's the thought that you are carrying. So the universe is your mirror. It's not like the universe is going to give you some type of an opposite experience to what you're believing. Because opposing frequencies can't share the same space. So you've got to be carrying the frequency of that belief to experience it in your physical reality. Does that make sense to you guys? Why does our spine vibrate during meditation? Yes. So this is a good meditator here. So your spinal column is in alignment with your chakras. That particular symptom, ascension symptom, or that physical sensation, has a lot to do with Kundalini energy. So Kundalini energy is described as like this red serpent or dragon that comes up from the root chakra, and it hits all of your other chakras, and that will definitely give you a tingling in your chakra. You've got the what's called the vagus nerve back here behind your ears, and it kind of comes up through your throat here, and then it goes to. I'm going to do a video on my Kundalini experience, which was mind-blowing. It was actually one of the reasons that I actually started Lightways, because of the knowledge and gnosis that I gained after having that Kundalini awakening. Actually, what I'll do two videos. I'll do what is a Kundalini awakening, because a lot of people don't know what that is, and then I'll give my experience with a Kundalini awakening. The universe synchronizes life, yes. My head is moving while meditating. The monkey mind. You got to calm the monkey mind. Feeling heat in your spine is also Kundalini energy, because remember I mentioned it's that red serpent. So you're going to get heat, for sure. All right, guys, let me, what's the next thing I wanted to touch on to here? Okay, so my next point on navigating change and chaos is get excited about the newer, stronger, more sovereign version of yourself that is trying to be birthed through your challenge. So, as I just mentioned, the desire of your heart is kind of the compass of the ship. So if you are excited about what you're transforming into, you're excited about that new identity that's trying to be birthed into your current timeline, you're not going to be focused on the difficulty of the challenge. You're not going to be worried about being defeated by that challenge because you've got something to look forward to. Hope is an amazing elixir. Hope is all healing, right? Love is healing. So when you are excited about this new identity that's trying to be birthed onto your current timeline, you're not even concerned with the possibility of defeat. You're excited about this new identity. And what is excitement? Well, it's the opposite of fear and worrying that you're going to fail. Excitement is in alignment with freedom, endless possibilities, love. These are the dominant frequencies of source. So when you're excited about the newer, stronger, more sovereign version of yourself that's trying to be birthed through this challenge, you're more in alignment with source, which means you're more in alignment with your answer, your clarity, your peace. And you're not focused on the 3D aspects of this challenge, which showed up, by the way, for your benefit. That challenge showed up so that you can get on the timeline of your heart's greatest version. So you want to be able to kind of look at that new higher self as the goal. And when you've got that goal, you've got the compass set, and you're going to move towards that goal and not focus on the problem. Does that resonate with you guys? My whole body tingles. Brooke. Anna says, what is monkey mind? That's when you're trying to meditate and your mind is darting all over the place. What am I going to make for dinner? What is my boss going to say when I get to the office? Am I going to be late to work? That type of stuff. And you're not focused on the center moment, present moment. Yes, you explain it well, because if I chose it, it was meant to expand me. Yes, shout it from the rooftops. Namaste from India. Namaste, brother. Don says, yes. I feel so much hope and peace and healing. Absolutely. Yes, perfect. Thank you. Good morning, finally made. Hey, Mickey, how are you? I like seeing my regular commenters. Oh, there's my buddy. You guys see his name is Titan, by the way. Everyone say hi to Titan. He likes to make an appearance every now and then. All right. Alrighty, so the next point I want to touch on is, I touched on it a little bit. You're here to remember what you agreed to forget after incarnating, so that you can learn through physical contrast of this great training simulation. So this is the mindset that you want to adopt when you're navigating chaos and change. You want to remember. What is it that you're wanting to remember? Your true essence as spirit. So we can kind of work this backwards. What is the dominant frequency of spirit source? As I've already mentioned it in several videos: love, gratitude, freedom, authenticity, these types of things. What is that out of alignment with? Fear. So when it's time for you to remember what you decided to forget after incarnating, a very simple technique you can do is just ask yourself, what am I fearing? So when you ask yourself, what am I fearing? That immediately shines a light on where you're out of alignment with source, out of alignment with love, out of alignment with gratitude, out of alignment with abundance, abundance and abundance. You're out of alignment with your authentic truth. You're out of alignment with sovereignty. So this allows you to pinpoint where you need to do the healing. What is healing again? We said healing is taking the higher vibrational frequency of love and apply it to the lower vibrational frequency of fear. And we want to raise that fear. So when you ask, what am I fearing? You're taking something out of the shadow and you're putting it into the light. Remember, the shadow represents unconsciousness, right? Because the light means it's seen. When something is seen, when you're aware of something, you're conscious of it. It's no longer subconscious because you're now conscious of it. So subconscious is going to be in the shadow. So we take it out of the darkness, we take it out of the shadow, we put it into light. Oh, this is where I'm out of alignment with love. And this allows you to do the work and focus that healing on where you're out of alignment with love. You can ask some very simple questions. What am I fearing? Okay, so am I fearing that I'm never going to find love again if this person leaves me? Am I never going to be happy if this person leaves me? Are my needs not going to be met if I lose this job? And that shows you where you're out of alignment with abundance. It shows you where you're out of alignment with love. If somebody leaves you, you don't lose love because you are love. When you have a complete sense of your identity as love, it allows you to not have this needy energy, oftentimes fueled by abandonment trauma, to over cling on somebody because you believe you're going to lose something. And again, this is where meditation comes in. When you're able to identify as your actual essence, as absolute abundance, absolute love, absolute completeness, absolute wholeness, you can't lose anything. There's nothing to lose. Again, nothing can make you more of source or less of source. You just are source. So this is where you can ask yourself, where am I out of alignment with source? Which is the same question as what am I fearing? And then when you ask yourself, what am I fearing? A lot of times, now, assuming that it's not a physical threat to your existence, but 9 times out of 10, it's the ego fear-mongering. The ego is way off into the future, running through a bunch of worst-case scenarios that have a 5% chance of happening, right? So you can not only ask, what am I fearing, but why not give 5 reasons why those fears may not be valid, right? And so this allows you to not only pinpoint where you're out of alignment with love, but it also allows you to debunk the fear in the first place and invalidate that fear. And that allows the ego to kind of calm down and sit down a little bit. And then you can kind of, patronize the ego a little bit. Yes, I hear you, ego. Yes, okay, well, However, this is why what you're saying is not true. And then you can list those 5 reasons. So, does that help you guys? Oh, Elizabeth, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Just a small thanks for your excellent info. Namaste, Elizabeth. Got some hellos for Titan. He's under my chair now. My extremities tingle during meditation. Good. Yeah, the thing about meditation is it activates not just your energy body, but your physical body because they're intertwined. And so when you're bringing in light energy, you're raising the light capacity of the cells of your body, and you're going to get things like tingling and heat and stuff like that. Sleep well, Chula. Sleep well on the high vibing light waves energy. Alrighty, so let me jump over here to my next little point here. Okay, so when we're talking about navigating change and chaos, there's a bit of a misconception. People believe that once you're spiritual or you're enlightened, your problems go away. This is not the case. It's just that your perception of what you may consider a problem completely changes. Because enlightenment is stepping into a higher state of unity consciousness. So, as I mentioned earlier, you're viewing the problem as an aspect of you. So, there's less resistance to it because it's another aspect of yourself. But since it's another aspect of yourself, it's the universe is a mirror. It's reflecting back what is within you. And now you can take ownership of that problem. You can take ownership of what has shown up. This is how you really, I hate to say the word take control of your life because control is kind of an egoic word, and control, the more that you control, the more resistance there is. But this is how you determine what energy shows up in your life, right? So when you take responsibility for everything that shows up, there's a vibrational alignment there. There's something that allowed the vibration of that challenge or chaos to share the same vibrational space with you. You're holding that frequency. We never like to point fingers, right? Because anytime you're pointing a finger, you're pointing the finger at who you just gave your power to. You want to do this. You want to point inward. Even if it's, something that clearly isn't your fault in the physical, there's a vibration there that is allowing that to share the same vibrational space with you. And this is showing you where you're out of alignment with Source, which is what you asked for before you decided to incarnate. So being spiritual or enlightened simply means that you don't, problems don't stop coming your way. Challenges and chaos may still show up. Your perspective of challenges and chaos is now from a higher perspective, where it's like, what within me is in vibrational alignment with this challenge? And how can this challenge get me onto my greatest version? This perception kind of puts you in more of the wide-eyed, eager student of life, which is a receptive, allowing flow state energy. You're swimming with the current, right? And it gets you out of the victim mode. The problem with the victim mode is that it's a very resistant, closed-off state of energy where nothing changes. In my opinion, once a victim, always a victim, unless you do the healing, right? So doing the healing means that you're taking responsibility and you're moving out of that victim mode. The problem with staying in victim mode is that energy never gets healed, so it's going to keep showing up on a repetitive pattern until you decide to heal it, right? So that toxic relationship is still going to show up, just under a different name. The person just has a different name, but it's still that same toxic relationship. That job that you hate is still going to show up. It's just the different name of a company, right? So taking responsibility for everything that shows up and then deciding to heal that energy that you don't want to share the same space with, that's what being enlightened is really about. Your problems, it's not that you don't stop getting problems, it's that your problems are now your ally, essentially. You guys feel that? You guys resonate with that? Mickey says, making very much sense now. Thank you. That addresses my issue. Awesome. Yes, healing is important. Absolutely, Brooke. Yes, release of codependent love. Absolutely. Love becomes interdependent. Release neediness. Serve one another. Absolutely. All right, let me see. Do I have anything else for you guys? Oh, last one. Okay. So this one is pretty relative to, or relevant as far as what's going on in the world right now. I'm talking about the war in Ukraine. And remember, what happens on the big stage is also happening on an individual level. We are a microcosm in the macrocosm. So the change and chaos that happens on the big stage is also happening on an individual level in the collective consciousness. And my last point that I want to make on this live is you can't believe that the world is going to hell in a handbasket and simultaneously believe that you have a bright future, because subconsciously you realize that you're also a part of the world, right? So if your thinking is the world's going to hell in a handbasket, you subconsciously have a I'm on a sinking ship type of mentality. Now, consciously, you may say, oh, I want to do this in life and I've got these dreams and aspirations, but the world's going to hell in a handbasket, but you're also part of the world, you see? So this is where you want to kind of change that around and say the world is evolving, the world is purging what is out of alignment with higher states of consciousness or unity consciousness. And this is the planet doing shadow work. So the planet is doing the shadow work, which affects the collective consciousness and allows the collective consciousness to move into higher states of unity consciousness, 4D, 5D consciousness, 5D Earth, a lot of people call this. And as I said in the previous video, 5D Earth is not a different planet. It's not a different place or different dimension. It's when a large enough portion of the collective consciousness move into a higher state of consciousness, 4D or 5D consciousness, unity consciousness. I've seen a lot of videos on the Schumann resonance. This is what measures the magnetic field around the Earth. And they have scientifically proven that if just 1% of the population has the same emotion or the same type of consecration in their thought, that affects the Schumann resonance. So it's not like all 7 billion or whatever the number is on the planet have to raise in conscious awareness. It can be a small percentage, like 1% to 5%, 7%, something like that. And that's going to change a lot of the 3D structures of control and fear that are currently in place, that are being dissolved on the bigger stage. It doesn't look like it's being dissolved right now, but it kind of has to reach a crescendo first before it can start to decline. And those power structures are on their way out. And that's how we heal the planet. We heal our own trauma, because the more of us on an individual level that step into higher consciousness, the more of us will stand up and say, hey, this isn't in alignment with what's best for everyone. This is in alignment with unity consciousness. And more of us will be out of alignment with fear. The less we're in fear, the less we're able to be controlled. So the more that we step into our authentic truth, the more that you get out of alignment with fear and step into your authentic truth, the more you're willing to step up for what is right for yourself and everyone else. This is where, setting and defending your boundaries come in. But the more of the collective that heals that trauma, meaning they get out of alignment with fear, the more of the collective that step into higher consciousness, the more of the collective is going to come together and put their foot down and say, we will not comply. This is not acceptable. And then those little tiny power structures, they start to fall apart. And then we do move into, maybe it turns into a 4D matrix or a 5D matrix. But we get out of that survival, fight or flight 3D matrix. And that's what the planet is doing right now. It's evolving, but it's got to do that chaotic purge first, which is what we're all doing on an individual level, which is why we do the shadow work. Does that make sense to you guys? Give me a hell yeah if that. I'm channeling my inner Stone Cold Steve Austin. Hell yeah. Making very much sense now. You are. Thank you. That addresses my issue. Oh, I think I've read that before. Yeah, I like it. It's empowering. The dark will lead us to the light again. Yes. I do want to be a little careful with our perception of dark. Remember, yin and yang is a thing. The universe loves balance. Source is also the darkness. That has to be the case, right? Because source is everything. So we never want to make an enemy of the darkness. We just want to raise it in more alignment with the higher frequency of the light, which is the dominant frequency of source, which is love. Human resonance is fascinating. Hey, there's a hell yeah. Thank you, Impress. All right, guys. Well, that is all that I have today for the first Lightways Live. Let me know if you guys like this, if you want this to be a thing every week. I had a lot of fun with this. It seems like a cool thing to do. You just gave me what I needed to feel better about my issue is with this planet right now. Absolutely. Hell yeah. Thank you, Katrina. All right, guys. So I will get this posted to the tubes, the YouTubes. And yeah, like I say, if you guys want this to be a weekly thing, maybe throw some thumbs up in the chat or a hell yeah or something. We'll make hell yeah the Light Fam war cry. That'll be our anthem. Yes, let's do it more often. Loved it. Yeah, would love more of these. Thank you. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I thank everyone for showing up today. I love sharing energy with you guys. I love imparting everything that I've learned on my spiritual journey. I had my spiritual awakening in 2009. This was before YouTube, so I basically had to read everything to learn. And then everything that I read, I was applying in my life, and there was a lot of chaos and changes going in my life. And I had to learn through what I was reading how to apply these spiritual principles to overcome everything, and then completely reinvented myself. So I want to impart that wisdom to you guys, because I feel like I am the universe helping itself as the collective, if I'm able to do that. So yes, would love more would be great. Thank you so much for your gift to the world. Oh, thank you. Thanks, bro. Okay. Love to share the light. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's a wrap for the first ever Lightways Live. We're making history doing a Lightways Live. Anyway, all right, guys. Oh, thank you, Katrina. Oh, Empress. Oh, sorry, you're talking to Empress. All right, guys. I am going to end broadcast, and I will see everyone in next week's video. I love you guys. Much love. Namaste.